The project actually started in Nigeria in 2012. It came at the time that the production of wheat was very low and the importation was very high. The government of Nigeria was spending no less than 6 billion US dollars to import wheat into the country. And the production of wheat in Nigeria was just 2 to 3% of our requirement. And at that time, Nigeria was producing less than 50,000 hectares of wheat annually, with an output of no more than 100,000 tons per annum. Specific reason why we had very low wheat production, 50,000 hectares in the whole country, was because first and foremost, the varieties we had were low yielding. They yield 1 to 2 tons per hectare. As a result, they were not profitable to the farmers. You know, wheat is a crop grown under irrigation. So you spend extra money to provide water and to also apply the water. So if the yield is not very high, it is not enough incentive for farmers to grow the crop. But with the intervention of the project, with the high-yielding varieties and the ability of the project to move to farmers' field through demonstration, through farmer field school, to teach farmers modern techniques of wheat production, the yield significantly increased.
Now this is the process of preparing the plot. The plot size is determined according to...
This project has been a unique project, as I mentioned, in different aspects. One of them is that this is a project funded by an African organization through African Development Bank. And this project also helped very much in sharing knowledge and experience among different stakeholders. Germplasm developed, evaluated, and developed in Sudan has been shared with different countries. More than 4,000 tons of seeds has been produced, distributed, shared among farmers. This is just alone, it valued more than $1.6 million. And we calculated that if the yield is increased, the yield increased from 2.2 tons per hectare on average to 3.9 tons per hectare on average also, which means that if all farmers adopted the technologies, we could have added more than $500 million to the Sudanese hard currency. And also the same can be true for other countries. Now the self-sufficiency or the contribution of the locally produced wheat increased from 15% when we started this project to more than 35% in just 3 or 4 years.
Why is wheat strategic to Nigeria? It's because our consumption in Nigeria is very high. It's 3.7 million tons of wheat we consume every year in Nigeria. And this consumption is not matched with production. Our production is very low, abysmally low. We produce only between 80 to 100,000 tons annually before the onset of the project. And the funny thing about the consumption in Nigeria is that every year is increasing at the rate of 20%. So we have a very serious problem with wheat in Nigeria.
Within the last 4 years, in collaboration with SARD-SC project, we have released two new varieties that are of better yield and better quality. And we have, like, at the farmers' fields, they achieved like more than 5 tons per hectare, approaching 6 tons per hectare. In the field of germ plus development, we have released within the last 4 years like 2 varieties in collaboration with SARD-SC project with good yields and better when compared to the others before like Imam. We named the 2 varieties Zakiya and Gumriya, and they have comparable or relatively a better end use quality. And now also with for the last 2 seasons now they have been introduced to the farmers.
Those who are to uptake this commodity were reluctant to do so. Simply they complain about quality and also the volume of production, which they feel cannot supply and meets their demand all year round. But we insisted from research and extension that we feel this is unfair judgment, and we were vindicated from the last season. Millers now have acknowledged the fact that Nigerian wheat is qualitative, and so they have started to take off this commodity from farmers, and this is a laudable achievement.
When we were watering wheat, we are submerging it into water, and now that they told us that the wheat is not like rice, you understand, so we are not submerging it into excessive watering. So that is one of the practices, and we really seen a great thing about it. For instance, about the fertilizer applications, you understand, like for instance before we were just broadcasting our wheat, and now they told us to plant it on rows sometimes, you understand, and drill or other practices, which is even better than what we are doing. And even in broadcasting, it consumes a large number of seed rather than drilling, you understand, which consumes less amount of seed, which reduces the cost of our production, and at the end it is better than what we were doing.
The average of wheat production is around 2, you see, before the intervention of the project. And now for the season 2015, it increased up to 3.8, you see, almost more than 60% increase in average, or all average, all over the country, you see.
استفدت منه حاجات كتير، استفدت ما شاء الله، واستفدنا منه حاجات كتيرة. أيوة، كسبنا قروش كتيرة، ما شاء الله ما قصروا وما قصروا، اشتغلنا كتيرة وكسبنا فيها قروش.
From this area, the growing wheat have been abundant for about 20 years. With the coordination and collaboration with other stakeholders in the microfinance and Jazeera, the yield in this area have been improved from 3 sacks per faddan to up to 20 sacks per faddan. And for this year, this area have been selected by the GD scheme to be one of the areas that they are targeted to produce seeds. At the past, they never think even of growing wheat. Now they are becoming seed producers. And also, this area at the Komor, many politicians have been visited the demonstration field, the vice president, the minister for Agriculture, the governor of the states, and they have witnessed how the performance of these varieties at the farmers' field.
The project financially has ended this year because the extension we're having is no cost extension. So we cannot get any funding from the project for research this season. Do you know where we got our money? From the flour millers. The flour millers gave us a grant of 20 million naira to continue with the research and demonstration of technologies in the project. In addition to that, the flour millers has distributed seed and water pump to farmers, Flour Millers Association. So these are the spillover effects because of the successes we have achieved. Everybody is now coming in. Success has many fathers, but failure is an offer. Because we have succeeded now, everybody is coming. SARD-SC, how can we assist you? This is your wheat project.
The wheat farmers, as history has it, suffered some time back during previous governments. That is, you find out they will be encouraged to produce, and then at the end of it, they will be left alone with their produce, and those produce will not be uptaken by the millers. These millers normally used to attach this thing to the issue of quality of wheat and what have you. But with the coming of SARD-SC and Lake Chad, Mr. President, the uptakers, the farmers, and all the stakeholders were gathered together where issues were discussed pertaining why the uptakers don't uptake wheat. But it was established that the wheat produced in Nigeria can match any kind of wheat. This was done in conjunction with SARD-SC, Lake Chad Research Institute, and these other development partners.
The philosophy and the arrangement of the project, the way of implementation, the modality, which is innovation platform, is actually very, very targeted and very well designed that all those concerned are on board. So the sensitization that has taken place so far with what the project delivered at all those different phases, I think has managed to greatly convince those who are on the borders in terms of saying that Sudan, and specifically some part of Sudan, for that matter, take for example the Jazeera scheme, is out of the domain of wheat production. That picture has greatly changed, with what the project delivered so far in terms of taking the technologies, the relevant technologies to the ultimate users